Jumping into this next set here, 2023 NXL Lone Star Major Impact taking on the Saints, and on the breakout, looks like Impact going to get to insert bunker snake side. Saints already there. I got Colt Roberts and Mike Bianca up here to help call this set. So it looks like Colt body dropping right now from the Saints from that D side. So you just played here, Colt, in the morning bracket. Little hit or miss for X Factor going 1-1. Talk to me about that D side.
Yeah, I didn't play the D side a whole lot today, but it it can be aggressive to a sense, but there is a big zone in front of the small Dorito that can be held from a couple different spots. So it makes it really tough to get through there, and it kind of stalemates after a while until you find that window.
I agree. I think what you're talking about is a big kill zone there, but one thing I've noticed about this layout is the fact that if teams are emphasizing that Dorito side, things slow down. But if you notice, these teams down here on the Snake, man, you start seeing lots of aggression.
Battle going down right now here in the Snake. Saints on the right, Impact on the left. Who's going to be the first to go? JC's going to pop the top, try to dunk on him. And he missed him. Comes around. Do they trade out? See if any penalties assessed. Looks like it's going to be a clean trade. But a body dropping from the backfield from the Saints at the same time forces a tactical retreat to get back to that back center. So advantage Impact here, and they're trying to push the issue. They're jumping into D1 and D2, and they're very much looking downfield, trying to figure out where these last bodies are. Cole, talk to me about how hard it is to figure out the count, because this one appears to be troubling out here.
It is. It's tough. You know, it's real important for your snake side guys especially to kind of be counting those bodies as they're coming off the field, because there's a lot of clutter out there, and you don't know, especially on the Dorito side, those guys can bounce around and you have no idea where they go.
And there comes the push through the center to finish things off. So a little chaos in the Snake, but just a little tough survivability issues here for the Saints, and that is going to give Impact the advantage. So when you're looking at Edmonton Impact, ranked 3rd overall, winning 2 events in a row last year, a big favorite in this one. The Saints still have yet to put up a win here in 2023. They weren't able to put up a point against San Diego Aftermath. So if you're looking,
Dalton might be hurt.
That is never a good sign. Yeah, Dalton's, look, man, he's been doing this since he was a child. And because of the mileage he's put on his knees and his body over time, sometimes he can be a bit of a glass cannon. Like when he's healthy, he's as good as it gets. The World Cup MVP, was it shoulder?
Looks like it was holding the shoulder when he came off.
Oh, that's not good. Now, the thing for Impact, though, is they are as deep as it gets.
Yes.
So even if Dalton does go down, next man up, and they got a laundry list of all-stars on that squad. But yeah, on paper, man, Impact should be ruling the Saints. And in that division, this is your division as well, Colt, with X Factor, Impact, Energy Elite, Aftermath, and the Saints. So when you play the Saints, you need to be putting up a big number, again, on paper, because you're expecting other teams to be putting up a big number to kind of equalize things.
Exactly.
As for who's going to be advancing to Sunday. 10 teams move on, jumping into this first point. Now, Legion, man, what a letdown for Legion fans in the first event, but they strike here early and getting 2 kills against Baltimore Revo. Baltimore Revo, a team on a rebuild, but 15th place at the first one. Legion, though, 19th place at the first event, going 1-3, and they still had 4 of their big 5 starters. No Leo Smotrop, but both Sergey and Malloy coming off here early, because here comes Baltimore Revo pushing the issue on the Snake side. Caleb Abel.
Look at this counter. Kirill make it. Yep.
Yeah, so Kirill moving up in the center to counteract that and get that crucial kill on Abel, but the damage was done. But here comes Legion pushing down on that D side.
Karslev over there.
Yeah, so it looks like Karslev trying to make something happen. Kirill is past the 50-yard line, so a combo of Karslev and Kirill, after those couple early deaths, should be able to finish this one off. Here goes the hammer drop by Karslev, and a pretty easy first point here for Legion.
Russians making a statement with that one.
Yeah, and it's pretty wild because, one of my divisional teams does a bracket where you pick, where you think everybody's going to finish, and I actually put the Russians at the bottom of the bracket, and I had to recheck it.
At this event?
Okay. I looked again, and I was like, do I really think that? And I was like, just with the way they've been playing.
Yeah, it's
hard.
Brackets A and B, arguably the harder brackets out here. Either one, which is going to be the bracket of death, who knows? But when Legion is the 5th ranked, 5th tier team, yeah, no Smotrov, but they have the 4 other standard starters here, and they got their coach back. They got Coach Alex.
That's going to help.
But still,
tell me about
this is a what have you done for me lately sport, So it's just one of those situations. And You know, Mike, you're coaching the Hurricanes. Congratulations again. I know you're not where you guys want to be yet, but Jesus, man, what an amazing start to your guys' pro career. But you are in bracket B, and that's a brutal bracket. But you guys are in the second tier. It's Damage, Hurricanes, Diesel, Revo, and Legion. But when Diesel's in the third tier, Revo's in the fourth tier, and Legion's in the fifth tier, that's pretty nasty.
You took the words out of my mouth. It's going to be a knife fight for sure.
Yeah, so those battles coming down here going down pretty shortly here. 2:45 is going to be New Orleans Hurricanes taking on Revo in their first match, with Revo already warming up here. So this is a good one for you to scout, Mike.
Yes, sir. That's why I agreed. No, normally I have a rule, and that is I don't come into any room. I don't walk into any room I don't know how to walk out of. And I feel I've broken that rule by sitting up here with you and Colt right now.
Now, this is also the set we play tomorrow, too, because we have the Saints in Impact as well. So,
well,
it's good for both of us.
Yeah, it's kind of the best seat in the house.
Yes.
So right now, it does look like some bodies getting chopped up here from Impact. Lost a body early, but looks like Saints also dropping some bodies. They do have one player left alive here in the Snake, but Axel got in.
That's a penalty.
Oh, yep.
Axel at the 50. Laval behind him, though,
gets a penalty.
Drawing a penalty. It's going to take out Reeser as Axel comes through and begging for a penalty himself. Oh, referee going to check him out, pull him out. No, the penalty, a major penalty is going to be assessed on the Saints. Wow. They have two bodies left alive, so probably not going to start down one. We'll see, a little confusion out here.
Well, I mean, the call is that, majors are only assessed when you shoot another player after your shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the call there is ref goes in. He knows that Axel had the drop on the guy, and then checks him, and once he, acknowledges there was actually a hit on Axel, that's when the red is thrown, because not only did the player play on, but he also shot a player. Had he not shot Axel, probably would have been a minor at that point.
Yeah. So with the two bodies left on the D side, but in that confusion, as I was looking over, one of those players was kind of scurrying in his bunker like he might have caught one from somewhere else, too, while that was going down. So we'll see if they have to start down a body and if Impact's going to be on a power play. We're in the pits right now with Impact. Let's listen in real quick. Pretty quiet in there. Yeah, so now Revo, Legion taking the field. Revo in the purple going to be on the red side. These teams do switch sides if a point is won. If there's a no point, they'll stay on the same side. But yeah, both these teams, after underperforming at the first event, looking for something big and just different stories. I mean, that's what's so captivating to me after all these years, is just how interesting these stories are. With Legion, they've had a real hard time trying to get the core starting five. 2 events, period. And then with Revo, they keep getting chewed apart in the offseason, getting guys stolen. But, with the new owner, Tom Four, he's trying to throw some money at some guys. Caleb Abel could be a pickup for them. And Opie Logren's helping coach them. So they're trying to do what they can to be hyper competitive out here. Big break for them, taking some ground in the center. And looks like Legion trying to do the same thing. But Sergey getting shot off the break. It's going to be a 5-on-4 situation in favor of Revo.
Looks like Carell's counter moving up in the middle as well. He's going to try and get that big brick off the field, looks like.
I like Revo's response. Smooth progression.
Well, Revo puts the bait up there, and then they protect him.
Right.
So Carell tries to come and take him down, not able to do it, and then they get a body into the 50 snake. So now they have a body to 50 brick, 50 snake, looking pretty good to try to tie this one up. 3 bodies left alive on the field right now for Legion. What was that, Mike?
I think that's correct. The center brick just got shot.
Oh, and Revo loses another guy, O'Mara, getting shot filling out there to the Snake Temple.
Yeah, so it looks like Adams and O'Mara coming off, and then here comes Malloy.
Oh, that looked a little questionable.
Little close.
Yeah, Malloy running the player down in the snake, but they're going to lose another body as well, too. So the point will be going to Baltimore Revo, as it looks like Silos Cortez and Henry Sense still alive out there in that chaos. I'm also interested to see from a strategy and tactics standpoint how this field's going to evolve based on what we saw this morning. A lot of action going towards the sideline, not a lot of action up the center. And typically when that happens, we're already kind of seeing it here a little bit. You're going to see a little more action start flooding up the center. Guns will shift that way, and then it will shift back outside to the wires as things evolve. Mike, what do you think?
Well, I agree with you 100%. I think also what you're going to see is this field is going to slow down. We all say that, right? We say that every event, the field's going to slow down by Sunday. I think you're going to see this field slow down by the end of this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of started a little slow.
Yeah, it felt slow.
But not for every game. I mean, we definitely saw, if you're looking at, number of points scored, I mean, ML Kings Bears, that was a 9-point game. Aftermath X Factor, that ended up being some points. But a lot of times that can come from one team going down and having to chase.
Right.
And that was the instance in both those matches. that creates more points because you guys were on a pretty solid comeback, you know?
Exactly.
I think it's a matchup thing, too. It's a style approach to the field. You talk about that ML Kings Thunders match. They were all throwing bodies at the snake. That's why you're seeing such a high scoring.
Body dropping early here for the Saints on the breakout.
JC just running and gunning over the snake the entire time. No one's even looking at him.
Not one bit of pressure here for Justin Cornell as he's all the way onto the Saints side of the field and just feasting.
Yeah, he's just finding bodies.
I mean, we do have $500 on the line here, courtesy of Pate Smith Law. And so far it's Clay Hughes from the Ironman because he won the game for the Ironman with that 4-pack.
2 seconds.
It was incredible.
That was a great play. That's going to be hard to beat.
So that's the bar right now.
That's a high bar. First match of the day, too, wasn't it?
Yeah. So,
or second.
You know, and so JC running down, shooting some bodies. He ended up not winning this point, but I'm just putting that out there. The bar is Clay Hughes right now if you would like to win that money.
Well, that was nice by JC, but that's just a read and react. You know, no one's looking his way. He runs down, shoots people on the sides. Great play, not taking it away, but it's not...
not at Hughes' level is what you're saying?
It's it wasn't a clutch to win with 2 seconds left.
Again, that's just the high watermark, man.
There's the adjective right there, clutch, right?
Yeah. So it does look like Impact going to cruise and put their next point on the board here. So kind of been on cruise control so far for Edmonton Impact, and that's to be, again, expected, again, on paper. We have seen lots of upsets the past couple seasons, but the Saints, they got some work to do, man. You know, they're the only team that wasn't able to win a game at the first event. We saw a lot of 1-3s, lots of 2-2s. But so far, the Saints are struggling to win a point out here.
I just don't know much about those guys, where they came from, who they are. I just really don't know. I know Corey Laser from video games, but that's it. I don't know any of the other guys, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, Greg, so last year, you know, it's just tough, right? So the owner of the team, Greg, he hit me up, and he's like, we need a coach. They ended up getting Mike Paxson to coach him, and he was able to pull, you know, some guys that had played for some different pro teams, and they had enough of a finish to save the spot. But then now you're forced into a similar situation, right? The offseason was brutal this year. It was very difficult out there. It's hyper competitive. I mean, even, you know, teams like yourself, you know, I'm glad you were able to keep your core, and then you added Nick Ripple, which I thought was a huge pickup. And so you're continuing to build. Now you're going to have to protect that roster, Mike, if you guys continue to look really good.
We're coming for it.
But when you're the Saints, you know, again, it's that you got to try to keep a competitive team, because every year somebody's getting relegated, and right now the Saints is in that slot until they do something to change it.
Well, we actually practiced against them in preparation for this event, along with them in Blast Camp. And like you, Colt, I know Evan Manners very well, I know Corey very well, and that's the extent of it. What they've got going for them is a reckless abandon, abandon attack.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're throwing that out the window.
Right.
And so if it's your superpower, why aren't we managing it, right?
I think it's also hard against a team like Impact. It's just zone control on those guys just doesn't work too well.
Body dropping here for Legion, trying to get into the Snake. So tied up 1-1, 11:51 on the clock. Legion with the move outside wide D side. And 5 bodies alive right now for Revo. So it's a 5-on-4 situation as they get into Snake 1.
I'm curious to see what Karslev does on this Dorito side. You know, he's one of the more in-your-face Dorito players that is gonna fight you out of those spots and try and get through the zone. So, you know, he may change the meta a little bit over there by really pushing the issue, because he has that kind of gunfight ability and will to move forward.
Yeah, you've done battle against Karslev quite a bit.
I have.
Years.
He's a great player.
So right now, Revo getting into the Snake and first to get to the 50 as they're wrapping around trying to put pressure. And they're, just...
The guy's gun was down. Sergey's gun was down. Oh, nice shot.
Oh, wow.
Malloy's so nasty.
He is.
He's so nasty. You know, speaking of bars, the New York Extreme guys gave him a nickname. They started calling him The Bar, as in that's where we're all trying to get to, skill-wise.
Oh, looks like Russian Legion losing another player, so now we're on a 2-on-4 scenario. Big bite by Revo on the Dorito side. I don't know if he made it.
Yeah, he's alive, and he's probing. He's out in the blind area. Ooh, but he gets picked off, so kind of a tough death over there. You know, with that much time left and a body advantage, really no reason to get a little risky over there, but it did cost him.
Especially considering that right now the Russians are in the 2 spots you really want to be to hold this kind of a zone. I mean, that Snake 1 is really hard to dig somebody out of. It's dynamic. You can come over the top like Malloy's doing. You can wrap. You can shoot inside. And the Dorito corner also has a ton of blind shots and weird angles into bunkers across field.
It's almost like you've got 20 years of experience playing the professional division.
I just started a couple days ago, but quick learner.
What was your first year pro, Colt?
04 with Avalanche.
Man, so it's
Dave Baines.
almost 20 years.
Yeah, Dave Baines gave me my first rip in the pro division. Thanks, Dave.
Well, he's always been a great read of talent.
Yeah, well.
So now, little tactical retreat from Henry Sense to come and give his boy Omar a little help as Omar's going to dive into the snake. Crawl up to that 50 and try to figure out where these last bodies are. So going to continue his crawl forward, get on to Legion's side of the field. He's blocked out from that back corner from this position.
Let's see if Malloy can hit. Oh, Malloy dies. Dorito guy got a shot in on him. Parslev going to take off down Dorito's side.
It's blasted from everybody.
Yep. Desperation move. Sometimes they work, but at least you give your coach
you show the effort.
Well, you show the effort, and you say, hey, man, let's not burn any more time off of this when we're down. Let's just throw the towel.
Yeah, if you haven't conceded it at this point, please,
yeah.
I'll help you.
Yeah, and I think you appreciate that as a coach. When your guys are out there and you're in that weird 2-on-3 and the time's running, you're like, oh, just go make it happen or don't, right?
That's right, absolutely.
Give us another shot at it.
I enjoyed Ryan Brand in the first match where he's sitting there going, hit the buzzer, hit the buzzer.
Yeah, and we weren't looking at it.
It was funny because we cut to the camera in the pits, and both him and Dixon are doing trying to come up with a hit the buzzer sign, and you guys are just chilling over there, no, we're up. Let's burn clock, right?
I think it got to the point where Ryan asked what the penalty was for him yelling from the pit. Because if it was just a minor, we had 3 guys on the field. He was willing to take it.
Is that what he did?
Yeah. I heard him on the radio say, hey, what's the penalty for talking in the pits?
Saints almost didn't have a body on the box, but he made it out there just in time.
Oh, Nick gets bounced. Yep, going up to the tower.
So Saints doubling up the back center, Impact doubling up the tower. So tiny bit more forward progression for them. They're going to get 2 bodies out wide D side. Darula might have caught one, though.
He did. It came off his shoulder. I saw it, but
I don't think it left any paint. Oh, enough to get him pulled, though. As Godin is going to get it. He's going to get a check, too.
Oh, that's a penalty. Yep. Try to hide it.
Yeah, the Saints are putting some pressure downfield here. A couple kills, and it's going to pull out Matt Jackson on the penalty. So just 2 bodies out there right now for Impact. This is the opportunity for the Saints. They're down by 3. They desperately need this one.
And they just lose 2 because they let the guy run up the Dorito side. Mm-hmm. No pressure on him.
Laval. And now they've let Laval get out here to this containment.
Into the fortress.
Yep.
It's just lack of experience, It's simple as that.
Well, they're thinking, we're finally going to get one, and we're playing Impact, and then just run right into just the couple guns that are left alive. But
Yeah, blood in the water can usually lead to a meat grinder, and it's not the good one.
Yeah, well put.
And that's what I've always respected about the Hurricanes. You guys are one of the most disciplined and controlled teams in the league, and just such a good teamwork team. That's why you guys do well, you know what I mean? And you came in immediately, and that never changed. You just continued to be consistent and solid and work well as a team, and it's hard to beat that.
Thank you. It means the world to us. We're trying out there, Colt. We're trying.
You guys
hard.
look great.
But you guys have set a standard, right? A lot of the pro teams who have come before us have always set a standard, and so we try to emulate that.
Right.
That, and I say my traveling rosary a lot, so.
There you go.
Well, it's like they say there's no atheists in the foxhole.
That's right.
And paintball's kind of the same way.
Right.
So right now, Saints, they do have a body advantage, down by 3, and they're in the 50 snake, but Laval has been getting very creative over here. It's the tough thing. When you're playing top teams, even when you get up early, you still got to dig those last couple guys out. And when you're down points, it's not like Impact's going to concede because the body count's not going their way. They're going to hope that 2 can just burn as much clock off as possible, even if you lose the point.
Absolutely.
And that allows freedom for those all-stars out there to try to make something happen. Because there's no pressure on you. We're not supposed to win 2-on-4s.
Right.
So you can get a little creative out there, and no one's going to yell at you.
And the operative word was pressure, which is the Saints are not putting any pressure on those guys. That's why Nick's stepping 15 feet out to the tape, because he's not being pressured. The guy in the Dorito corners holding there with nobody shooting at him and not looking to advance his position.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I'm like, I see this snake player trying to do something, but I look at this support going, what's happening back here?
Right.
Especially when you're down.
Yeah, and that can's not the best spot.
It's really bad. There's a ton of bounce shots into that thing, and it's a can, which is notoriously the hardest bunker to play, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're terrible gunfighting positions. They're seductive because they're so big, but the angles are not great for them.
They're not. You have to angle your body weird, put your hips into the bunker, lean back, and
doing combat yoga out there.
I'm too old to be getting in those weird awkward positions.
Combat yoga. I'm stealing that one.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, finally we got a little production out of the Saints Dorito guy. He makes the move up, moves into the Dorito 2. which is good. Now that's going to force Nick to keep his gun cross field because that's his immediate threat, and he can't kind of key up on the snake guy. Now the snake guy should balance the field, aggress onto their side, or at least to the 50, which he's doing right now. And it's just kind of passing the ball back and forth, you know? Yeah. I move, you move, I move, you move. And then you kind of create the angles and put the pressure on them. That's how you dig these guys out.
Well, if you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining us. But you'll hear us say often, who has the ball, right? We'll ask that question. That essentially means, because there is no actual ball out here. We're shooting paintballs at each other. But that means who has the ability to move, who should be making the move at that time based on which way the pressure is going.
Right. Who's the free man?
Yes.
He just moved into that ball.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Saints, he did. So now it's a 2-on-2.
Just took a big bite, you know? I mean, it's an unnecessary big bite.
He could have stopped off at the god, checked off.
Exactly. It's got to be methodical out there and smart. Oh, the snake guy shoots Nick. Okay. So 2-on-1.
And that's a communication thing, right?
Absolutely.
Well, Zupa pulled off a 1-on-4.
Well, he just shoots.
Oh,
wow.
So 1-on-1 situation, and the player for the Saints has no idea. Ramirez still thinks that he's in the back corner.
He's just going to go get the buzzer, I think. He's just going to go get the buzzer.
So Zupa's going to quickly work his way down and hit that buzzer to steal this point for Evanston Impact. At one point, it was a 2-on-4, and Mike Zupa and Nick Laval step up, put the team on their back to give Impact their 4th point, and that's why it's so hard to beat these top teams.
Yeah, you've got some players on the Saints that are dying with information, and that's always a bad thing. There's the communication out there. I just don't see it happening unless you guys are seeing it.
No, they're not connecting at all.
They're not connecting at all.
Yeah, dying with information. That's a good way to put it, right? Because, you know, and also playing like a lot of individuals out there. But
100%.
that's what's tough is that when you're reforming a team and you're bringing guys up that don't have much experience at the pro level, that's when you're playing against Edmonton Impact. But you don't get on Impact unless you're an all-star for another team.
Right.
And that's what makes it very difficult. So
I think the key is when you're building a team, you know, you can look at the Hurricanes, another example. You know, you build the foundation solid so that when you get to the level to play this, then you fine-tuning the extras, right? They haven't built the foundation. They're out there trying to win one-on-one battles against teams that are working as a 5-man unit.
And the Hurricanes are the exact opposite of individual paintball.
Right.
You know, you guys are like textbook team play in a lot of ways.
Well, I'll go ahead and feed a little back, and then we'll get into this match. But the key is losing is not the mistake. The mistake is not learning from the loss.
Indeed. 4-on-4 right now as both teams dropping a body early, both dropping a body from the Snake side. A little bit better field position currently for Revo because they have a body into D1.
Yes and no.
Yeah,
Bernikov is outside on the
he's
Snake.
at the God bunker, the Aztec on the Snake side, and it's Malloy.
It is Malloy, and you have a really good bounce shot into that can he was ripping a second ago. He's gone away from it because the can also shoot off the Snake 1 beam back into you. So it's kind of one of those precarious, weird, you know, lucky things, if you will. I hate bounce shots personally. I want to own you in a gunfight, not in a bounce shot.
Speaking of bounce shots, Colt, and I just wanted to get clarification. Did you get shot twice by your own team in that game?
I did.
Oh, man, I thought the last one, hopefully for X Factor, and whoever was that shot you was a bounce shot. But, yeah, from up here, it looked like, and we called it on the webcast, that you got shot by your own guys twice.
I did. It was unfortunate. That's what I get for going in the Snake after 20 years.
So you're still playing the D side.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I walked up and saw you yesterday, I'm like, how you like the D side? You're like, I'm actually playing the Snake. I was like, okay, I like that.
Sergey bailing out of that Snakeside Temple into that wedge.
Revo losing O'Mara, and then Sense is going to try to, gets back to the back center. He gets out to the Spot can, which is our insurance sponsor, actually, so big shout out to Spot. That's that yellow can you see out there right now. Legion crawling, getting into the 50-yard line here with Malloy and the Snake with a one-body advantage. So a couple nice moves from Henry to actually prevent some sort of threat over here on the Snake side.
Right.
He's just, again, in that kind of really terrible can.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to own that guy in the can right over the top of that 50 Snake. I mean, you have a good lineup. You can just pop the top. He's not expecting it, and he has to kind of play out on you.
Yeah, and then you put him in and you make your moves.
Exactly.
You know? So it's a really terrible position. The wedge is way better if you want to try to shut the Snake side down. Can is kind of trash for that.
It is.
And with Sergey in his position, you try to get crafty, you're going to eat one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Sergey's in Overwatch. Malloy's going to try and do work here.
Yeah, and then, unfortunately for Revo, they're down a body, but it's going to be up to what happens on the D side. Henry just has to try to stay alive, and sure enough, we literally just talked about this, but yeah, Henry, not much he can do from that spot. Gets eaten up by Malloy. Malloy now off to the races here with Sergey. Malloy pauses for a second, being smart, trying to make sure they put this tying point on the board because they are down by 1 with 6 minutes and 42 seconds left to go.
Well-executed point by the Russians.
Yeah, they're starting to look a little bit more like what they
Crisp.
used to. Yeah, and maybe it's
Cohesive.
the coaching thing, you know, because they used to have the best coaching staff in the game, period.
Mm-hmm.
And the most coaching staff, right? So they had 4 or 5 guys doing the job that a lot of these guys are doing 1 or 2, you know?
Yeah.
And
but then that got whittled down,
Right.
and then they didn't have almost any coaches
Right.
For a little bit. Yeah, it's just been difficult for them to, to have that, what we know as Legion actually be there.
Right.
And they've, fought through it. It's difficult, though. I mean, it's...
Well, it looks like they're running the Russian line over and over and over again.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Absolutely. I would just run, Karslev on the D side, get Krill to do his thing in the center with Sergey, and then Malloy with whoever else.
Right.
One other dude.
Right.
Whoever's playing the best out of everyone else on the team, and that would be it. And I would just run them like, can you go again?
Yeah.
Give me the straight answer. Okay, we got to put someone else in.
Yeah, you need one
Other
down.
than that, I'm just running until the wheels fall off.
Agreed.
The thing with Legion, though, is they play a fast-paced game, and if they run a light line, sometimes they can get a little fatigued, and that's
true.
Deep in the tournament, especially on a Sunday, if they have to catch a wild card berth, they got to play 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping the weather's going to push off this afternoon, but it should be really nice for the next 2 days. Body dropping early here for the Saints again, and Impact 5 Live.
Body for the Saints.
It's not looking good again here.
No, that's tough.
Yeah, Saints again, they have not put a point up yet at this tournament today. They scored 3 points at the first event. I mean, Greg really is going to he needs some players, to be honest. He's going to have to do whatever he can to try to either pull some dudes out of retirement or throw whatever carrot he needs to throw to somebody to get somebody to come over to help stop the bleeding.
Yeah. I mean, this Ramirez kid here, he's probably not a kid, but he's actually pretty good. He overextends a lot, but that's what happens when you're a good player on a team that's not producing well, right? Then you feel like, if I don't shoot 3 or 4 guys, we don't lose.
Yeah.
Right. And so you just see that in his game. He's still pressing forward, which obviously he needs to do, but he's just really gun battle dominant, not working with his team. Oh, but we get a penalty on Laval. Again, that's 2 for him this event.
Yeah, and that's going to pull out Jarula from the back center.
Now they have the whole snake side. This is one that they can steal. Ramirez needs to realize what's going on.
You nailed it, Ramirez.
Oh, actually, no. Impact has a guy in the snake. That's not the... Sorry, guys. We're a little blocked here by the referee tower, but Impact does have a 50 snake player.
The good thing about Ramirez is you can't teach aggression.
Correct.
Right?
You can slow him down.
You can slow him down and smarten him up. And I think Ramirez, he's got a lot of potential.
I agree.
I like this tactical retreat from Tyler Panilio. So he's the new pickup here. I played some 10-man with him a couple years ago.
Okay.
Young dude, really athletic.
What's his story? Where's he from?
NorCal. He's out of Dave Baines' field.
Oh, awesome. Did he play on the DMG? Oh, Ramirez comes in, sticks the snake guy.
Yeah, so Ramirez definitely has some skills. Pushing the issue, trying to put the first point on the board. He gets another kill, a little 2-pack here, maybe 3-pack for Ramirez.
Ramirez, nice point.
Well done.
So I didn't give him the announcer curse. I gave him the announcer power.
See, that's how you do it, Cole. Well done.
Yeah, attaboy Ramirez. Good job, buddy.
Yeah,
Team on your back.
We haven't had a commentator curse yet at this event, which means we'll probably have one in the next point.
No, that's not true. You cursed Henry Sense.
You did.
In the spot can.
I mean,
You
I
said
don't know if
all
that
Henry
was
all Henry has to do is stay alive. Clip.
Well, I actually already knew he was shot and said that knowing he had a hit on his back.
Fair
already.
enough.
So it's just, kind of playing the game up here a little bit. Commentator game.
But it kind of comes back to exactly what I said. Ramirez just he shot 3-4 people.
Put the team on his back.
Right, and that you don't win tournaments like that.
He got the memo, though, right?
Yeah.
We're down. We've got to go.
That's true.
And so at least he listened.
That's right.
Yeah, but what are we looking for, right? For coaching the team, it's like, give me some signs of life. Prove to me you deserve that spot.
Right.
And then that's going to pump everyone else up. Because if you go see Ramirez charge down, put up a 3-pack against Impact, all right, well, now it's my turn.
Right.
That's at least where you're hoping their mindset is.
Right.
So now 10 seconds to go. Tie ball game. Baltimore Revo. Red Legion 2-2. Looking at Legion here on your screen. Starting from the red side again. Teams switch sides every time a point is scored. Revo going heavy guns. Legion trying to take a little bit more ground. Not much, though. And everyone stays alive. 5-on-5. Referee checking out back corner bunker for Revo on the D side. Looks like he's clean. And 6 minutes on the clock.
I think we're going to see a penalty. Yep. He's got a hit on his mask.
Yeah, he does. He's dripping down.
He's dripping.
He's looking confused, though.
It's the swagoo on your face there, my guy. Well, there are some, I had one earlier. I was in the back center, and a ball hit the front of the back center bunker, came up, and landed a big old glob of paint on my hand. And I froze for a second and looked around, and I was like, I know this didn't hit me, but that's big.
Yeah.
And then I played.
It's an honest man right there.
But, it's one of those deals that a ref doesn't see what happens and sees that on you, and they're like, oh. And I was like, man, penalties are seldom worth it.
Yeah, that's true. That's
100%. It's a selfish thing, right? You got to trust the other 4 players on the team to get the work done.
Exactly.
Well, Legion moving up the field a little bit here. And tell you what, though, Revo, after losing their entire snake side, brought 2 bodies this way and get a kill. So
incredible.
I don't think anybody, maybe Sergey knows he's in the snake, but it doesn't look like Kirill's playing that way. Let's look at his body language. Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, he does. That's why he checked it off when he went through that gap.
Right.
Yeah, so Malloy in a good spot at the 50-yard line here in the snake. And they also have, good penetration up that center at the brick, shading towards the D side. Sergey at that crucial wedge. So they're in good control positions right now as we crack the 5-minute mark. 4-on-3 situation in favor of Legion. Somebody on Revo is going to need to clock in and get a kill here to even up this count.
I don't particularly like, well, I guess it's okay. You got Kirill watching the snake. I almost feel like Sergey comes over behind the snake guy. There's a lot of production doubling in the snake. And not to mention that he can hold the line and allow Berdnikov to go around and penetrate their side. Of course, it's a 2-2, 2-2 match, and maybe you're up a body. Maybe it's just not worth the risk. I don't know.
Yeah, when it's this close, that's when you start second-guessing those moves, right?
Absolutely.
And but that's elite paintball. If you make that right decision or it works out your way, more often than not, again, we don't need you. Like in baseball, if you're doing it well 3 times out of 10, you're a legendary multimillionaire.
Right.
Paintball is also kind of that way.
Who came through on the
Karslev.
D side?
Karslev.
Man, I was just about to think, man, that's a big bite, and he's going to get a penalty with the snake guy sitting cross on him, looking for that exact move. And
Geiger's begging for it.
Yeah, he's pointing at it.
Yeah, he's pointing. He's like, look, I feel like I put a ball on that guy. He's trying to plead his case.
It looks, Karslev's quick to come off the field, too. One of those, like, hit the buzzer, quick spin, and I'm out of here,
Oh, I'm clean?
Yeah,
All
good,
right.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, so Legion taking a slight advantage here. It was looking good early for Legion in that one. Some nice repositions. For Revo made it interesting, but right now Legion with the 1-point lead. Starting to burn some clock off of regulation time. We're in the pits right now with Legion.
Can you translate for us, Maddie? I know you're fluent in Russian.
No, that's a hard no.
I think they're saying way to get off the field before they see.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't even think I know how to say cheers in Russian, to be honest.
I know how to say 3.
Stroika is like the only word that I know in Russian.
3. Back center.
So body dropping right now for Emmets and Impacts. I think that was Panilio getting spin again. And he's going to take the early walk. I think he got shot trying to get to his spot. So slight advantage right now for the Saints. Down by 3 with 3:33 to go.
Oh, looks like they get one back, though. D-side corner for Saints coming off the field.
Jackson gets out to the spot can behind Justin Cornell. Going to launch up the center. Impact going to get to that stand-up wedge.
And Ramirez needs to either go now or he's going to have problems. Once the ball gets to that Dorito side big brick, it's kind of just a death trap moving on that snake side.
Yeah, Ramirez catching a lot of pressure in that spot, though. But, hey, when you're down points, you got to just put a guy in and make a move.
That's right. Looks like he wants to do it. He's shooting the bounce shot currently. He's wrapping on the can, and he's looking for the lane.
He actually has the opportunity. There you go.
Nice move.
Yeah, this Ramirez, again, kid, I don't know if he's a kid or not. I could check his age real quick, but he's got some skills.
Yeah, he actually looks like he should be out there right now.
He's got a big heart. At practice, he was always smiling. It didn't matter what happened. That boy was smiling, so. He's hungry.
That's good. And that's something you can build around. When you have a good player like that, make that your kind of core of the team and teach people to support that guy,
A lot of it does come down to culture, and I think that's where you see a lot of success in these teams that have built that culture of, hey, this positive winning culture.
Right.
Because winning is a habit. It's not a...
Yeah.
So is losing, right?
Yeah, indeed.
Exactly.
So I just went and checked. He's 24, which for my
kid to me.
I'm a graybeard now. I got at least 20 years on him, but the prime of his life, though,
Yep.
And he looks pretty good out there. But they need a little more of that.
And he's the kind of guy, like, you know, he'll just get picked up off that team. Someone will need a front aggressive snake guy, and he's young and moldable and already has kind of the skill set needed, and just fine tune him and he'll be on it.
When if Mike's saying he's got the smile on his face too, you want guys that have positive
Absolutely.
attitudes.
Mike's already liking him. You know what I mean? I already see the wheels turning over here, so.
Wheels are always turning cold.
I think Ramirez just got shot. He's staying in, though. But this is one of those deals where, you know, I say penalties are seldom worth it. He gets away with it there. He's still in there.
Well, they're shooting the bounce off that pin.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So that's probably what the ref saw.
It did look like a spray from this angle, but it could be coming off his bunker.
Well, JC gets into Snake 1, and, you know, Impact with a 3-point lead and only a minute and 14 seconds left, just probably even content to take a win this way. They already have a win against Energy Elite. Didn't put up a huge score there, but got the win. So I'll take 2-0 with any positive point margin.
Absolutely.
Day 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, JC.
Oh, there's a good highway move. Oh, no, JC saw him the whole way.
Yeah.
I like the attempt.
Oh, JC gets shot. Yep. Ramirez just clocking in again, putting another nice shot on JC in the snake. Shoots the Dorito corner.
Got to worry about that 50 brick, though.
He does.
I'm not sure he knows he's there.
Yeah, I don't think he knows either.
Mike, you're right. I think, he's playing.
About to get shot right here.
Yeah, he's playing like he doesn't know that. That's what's hot.
He doesn't get shot.
Ooh,
He does know.
There.
He does know.
Play.
Gets the kill.
Ramirez is just clocking in. He's about to get another one.
Ramirez is
That's
balling
a
out.
four-piece there.
Is that
Dude.
4-pack?
That's a 4.
If he gets Matt.
If he gets Matt, yeah.
How did he
Trade.
miss Matt on that
I don't know.
transition?
But
He
gets him
definitely
in the
did.
stick.
He ran him down, though, and then traded out. So a little 4-pack here for Ramirez as
Give that kid a raise.
Yeah. He is the Latin Saints.
I think at this point he is.
carrying the team. If it's not for his efforts, they have no points out here.
Absolutely not.
And that's what, 7 kills and 2 points?
Right.
That's a nasty kill ratio right there. About a kill a point on average is when we were doing the stats, and hopefully we'll have them back soon. But about a kill a point was like the measure of greatness.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yep.
And, I mean, he's just running a racket here for the past couple points. So, yeah, Saints still going to be losing this one, but finally put up some points.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's something to build on. It's something that you can come out of and say, hey, we gave Impact somewhat of a game, and that's our hardest team, theoretically. They still got to play us, so it's a tough one, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, the Saints, on paper, the Saints played Aftermath first, so it just gets harder from there, right? And then, yeah, now they play Impact, lose that one. They're going to play you guys. You guys went 1-1, so you're going to be super hungry tomorrow.
Right. We're going to do or die.
Yeah, the bayonets are going to be a fix for that game.
Totally.
If you had asked me that the Saints were going to put 2 points up on the first day, and it wouldn't be against Aftermath, but it would be against Impact,
Right.
I would have said, you're crazy.
Agreed.
So 1 point margin here in this one with 3:33 to go. 5-on-5 break as Legion slight lead here against Baltimore Revo. A little bit better field position now for Revo. They got that crucial wedge, that lay down wedge. They're outside wide on the snake side. Legion more tucked in the pocket, just trying to pump paint in these lanes, trying to catch one of these Revo players making a move. They make a move on the D side, get all the way to D3 clean.
Looks like Kirill's holding the D side from the back center, and all 4 other guns were just previously affixed on the snake side. Sergey just switched his gun heads up from the Dorito can. You know, I think if this Legion player can get out to the snake laydown, snake 1 is what we're calling it, but that just really puts a clog on that Dorito side, and it's such a fortress, it slows down the progression on the snake and the Dorito side just by being there.
So you guys are calling the insert bunker snake 1?
Yes, that.
I started to call it snake 1 in game 1, but it just felt wrong, so I just started calling it snake insert bunker.
Okay.
It's interesting to me that the Russians would use Kirill there in the back center to contain the Dorito, where you've basically conceded almost 40% of the Dorito side.
Right.
Yeah, that back center is not the best bunker as far as lanes you can shoot.
Right.
It's good to hold the small Dorito cut, but once they're through that, which they are, he's doing nothing there. So
Right, it's one gun to beat.
Right.
Well, he got out of that spot.
He did it, but he's now a fixed snake side, and they've switched the snake cam. Bernikov shooting Dorito way.
Interesting.
And they're just in full prevent right now, obviously, which
Doesn't always work.
it doesn't, and it doesn't work well for our team. I don't like playing that way.
Yeah, that's not your stock and trade.
No.
Legion does get a body out to D2, but eventually, with a minute and 50 seconds left to go, with 5 bodies, Revo is going to start pushing into these key spots. So now the question is, can Legion make their shots in this prevent defense that they're sitting in right now?
And I don't like Sergey's positioning here. He needs to get up to that wedge.
100%.
I agree.
I couldn't agree more.
He's playing low. He doesn't see the crawl around from there. And he's so tall. Why he's not standing up shooting down on that is just mind-boggling.
Oh, they're alive though.
They are alive.
They're just not in the best spots.
No.
To do what they're trying, what their play is designed to do.
Exactly. And it's just giving so much freedom. They're rolled off so hard that Revo is just at will, looking around, probing, and advancing down the field.
I mean, if you look at the body language, Revo, no one's feeling much pressure at all.
They're not. And that's the problem with these prevent plays where it's like, I'm just going to hold his own.
And then sure enough, Legion catches the ball over here as we reach the minute mark. So they're just kind of in tough spots defensively to try to stop the onslaught that's about to be utilized here from Revo. 5-on-4.
If Sergey hits this shot, they have a good chance to win the point. If he does not...
Oh, he just did it. There's your commentator
yep.
curse. Except he hit the shot.
Well, he had to.
But here comes the move up the center of the field as the chaos starts to set in here. We'll see if Revo can make something happen. Here comes Henry Sense about to drop.
There's a penalty up.
There's a penalty assessed, but who's it going to be on? They stop the game. That means it's a major. But who is the penalty on? Sergey is looking around frustrated. He's trying to find a referee that he can give an ear beating to. Revo looks pretty confident walking off. I don't know. Is Silos shaking his head? Maybe it was Silos that got the penalty. We'll see if... don't see any point put up yet. This is our first kind of true chaotic moment from a penalty perspective that we've seen. It's been a relatively clean day today. A few penalties here or there. Decent amount of minors, but nothing that was... like Jason hasn't had to get yelled at yet today.
Right.
So.
Well, there's not a ton of I'm going to go bunker a guy positioning on this field. You know, maybe some stuff happens in the snake, but it's not like...
Malloy looks pleased, so...
I just heard point approved on the system.
Sense doesn't look very happy.
Well...
Wow. Is that what happened for sure?
Yeah, let's listen in.
30 seconds.
What? The fuck?
It sounds like the major was on Benny Carroll.
We're 100% starting out because we're fucking selfish assholes.
Again, always parental advisory anytime we cut to the pits in a tense moment.
I would never.
Yeah, sure you wouldn't, Colt.
We don't need to like go.
I say that, Colt.
Yeah. I did
never.
today. I usually don't, but I did today. After that point where we're set up to tie the game and I got shot in the back, I was not pleased.
Oh, you were off camera, but I heard you.
I believe it.
So jumping in, 2-point spread here, but barely any time. So the game will end at 4-2 with Impact going to be taking a win over the Saints. But hey, man, that Ramirez looking pretty legit out here. 7 kills and 2 points.
Yeah.
That's the reason the Saints have 2 points on the board.
Agreed.
Someone needs to buy that dude dinner tonight.
100%.
Well, we know where to key up tomorrow.
Because I could see him like this, looking at my home.
Super telling paintball stories right now with a smile on his face. Yeah, him and the wall had a point out there.
Just flopping along. I didn't shoot at him once. Still didn't turn around.
They just didn't make a mistake, you know? They didn't panic. They stayed cool, calm, and collected, and they let the Saints make mistakes. And that's exactly what happened.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they did what they needed to do. Undefeated today, positive point spread, and that's all that really matters.
Right.
So we're going to head into tomorrow, and let's see what Impact Day is. So first off, they're going to have Aftermath, and Aftermath looks pretty solid, and then they have to play you guys. So that's going to be an interesting day of paintball in that bracket.
Jaguars aren't agile, they're just like...
Yeah, Zoop is a storyteller for sure.
He's a good guy.
Did he play on CEP? Is that where he came out of?
Yeah.
That's correct.
That was a long time ago.
CEP to PC Katana, and then from PC Katana to Revo, and then from Revo to Impact.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Revo's when he really started kind of making a name for himself. I mean, he was making a name for himself because he was the fast young kid on CEP, but CEP, I mean, they kind of caught some beatings out there. But the fact that he was able to, stay intense and focused and try to keep getting better and better and better and just improve his paintball career. What a great paintball story, man, for Mike Zupa. Coming out of the Midwest, too, So
right.
Lower, I think Alabama. I think he's from Alabama.
Georgia?
Is it Georgia?
Georgia, I think Georgia.
So, yeah, so South. But yeah, anytime I see those cool stories when you're not coming out of Florida or Texas or California, I'm like, man, tip my hat and respect, because it's a harder road, you know?
Yeah, try Louisiana and Alabama sometime.
I mean, Texas was hard back in the day. We had no pro team.
No, I know, but there was still a lot of awesome paintball teams out of that area.
That's true.
So an iron sharpens iron, right?
That's true. Yeah, we had a really good local scene in Texas. Looks like Kirill gets their center runner.
Look at this center brick.
Shot.
Comes through. Yep.
Oh, and there's just madness going down on the Dorito side. Looked like a grenade went off out there.
Who is that running down the D side? Is that Hussein?
No. That is Harris, I think.
You got 9 seconds.
Oh my gosh, Harris Hussein's going to run in and get that point.
He's got the speed to do it. Well, so Harris gets a spin and makes the most of it. It's going to add extra point to Legion's margin. And yeah, so it should be 5-2 final score. Legion going to take the victory. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Mike, Bianca, best of luck with the Hurricanes this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
We're expecting big things, because if you guys have started to get to that point where, you know, I'm not just patting your back anymore when you're just making a Sunday, you know.
Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
And then Cole Roberts, X Factor going 1-1 today. Big day for you guys tomorrow. You're a legend in this game, and appreciate your efforts after coming up on 20 years.
Yep, coming up on it.
So we're going to have a slight break, and then coming up next going to be New York Extreme with a victory over the ML Kings in their first. We're going to be playing the Ironmen, who also snuck a victory against Level. And then we're going to see the rookie pro team, Notorious, look pretty good at their first event. And Uprising taking the field for the first time here. 2023 NXL Lone Star Major. Second event of the NXL season. I'm Matty Marshall here on Go Sports. See you guys in a bit.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.